You may notice a few different things in this intro. Number one, my heater is being really loud, so we're gonna have to wait until it turns off to film this. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Heather. If you have seen me before, then you already know that my name is Heather, so welcome back. So you may notice a few things that are different in this introduction. First and foremost, I dyed my hair. Maybe you couldn't tell, but I got a balayage, so it was just like I wanted like a natural, lighter hair moment, but I didn't really want it super blonde, and she did a good job, but she did make it quite a bit blonder than I would have wanted at the front. So bear with me if it looks really bad. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with it as well. I'm trying to get used to it. It's a new me. When I look in the mirror, I don't recognize myself, so it's an adjustment. And secondly, the camera quality hopefully looks a bit better because I am filming on the actual good front camera of my phone. I always have filmed on my phone, but I usually use the face camera because then I can see myself. But I thought, since I can't really afford a camera right now and I wanted to sort of up the quality of my videos, I thought I would use the good camera on my phone. So hopefully I'm not out of frame, hopefully I look okay, and hopefully this is actually recording. If it isn't, and I go through this entire video and this isn't recording, I will cry. Anyways, for this week's video, I wanted to talk about long-distance relationships because I know that lots of you came to my channel from my very first video and like the long distance content on this channel, and so that's what I'm going to do. So this week I wanted to talk about trust and building trust in a long distance relationship because it can be extra difficult considering you aren't with that person all the time, so it can be hard when you're sort of wondering what they're up to and what could be going on when you aren't with them. And I made a video that was kind of similar to this a few months ago talking about jealousy in long distance relationships, so I will put that up in the little I don't know which side it's on, and you can check that out too because I feel like these two videos kind of go hand in hand. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. So I'm just sort of going to be telling you a few pieces of advice that helped Eli and I's relationship when we were trying to build trust. So I don't really know how I'm going to set this up, but hopefully it makes sense and you can get something out of it. So the first thing that I'm going to say is that communication is key, and this, I feel like I've said this in so many of my videos, but it's because it's a super important part of not only long distance relationships, but any relationship. And when talking about building trust, I feel like that's a very important thing that you need to incorporate into your relationship is communicating and being open with your partner, having this open dialogue and telling them the things that make you insecure or nervous about starting a long distance relationship. I don't know exactly what that would be, but like I said, with long distance, you aren't with your partner all the time. So the fact that you're apart and you don't have the same sort of social group as them and you don't really know what they're up to 24/7, that can cause some insecurity. So I feel like right off the bat, being open with your partner, having an open dialogue about what makes you insecure is very important because then you can talk through it together and figure out the best course of action and the best way to reduce those fears and that insecurities. And sort of going along with that last point is setting boundaries, but not making them unrealistic. For example, if it makes you uncomfortable when your partner is out and you don't hear from them for a long time, I feel like that's something that's reasonable to bring up with them and sort of figure out together a way that you could reduce that insecurity that causes you. Obviously, your partner should be able to go out and spend time with other people besides you, but maybe you could just check in with each other every couple of hours and, see where you're both at just to make sure that everything's okay, your partner's okay, and plans haven't changed and you know where they're gonna be, sort of thing. I feel like that's something that's super helpful because then your partner isn't going to feel pressured to have to text you or call you 24/7, but you'll still have that comfort of knowing where they are and sort of what they are up to and you know that they're safe, if that makes sense. Another thing that is important when building trust is to remind yourself that your partner isn't obligated to include you in everything, and that it is important that you have separate lives and that they aren't spending 24 hours a day, 7 days a week talking on the phone to you. I know that that's an ideal situation because you can't be together physically, so it is nice to have that verbal communication on the phone or on FaceTime. But your partner also needs to have a life, and you need to have a life outside of your relationship. And it is sort of difficult to include each other in things when you're going out with friends. I mean, you can FaceTime each other when you're doing that, but that isn't really easy or the ideal thing to do all of the time. So if you're sort of feeling those insecurities and feeling like you can't really trust your partner and you're feeling nervous when your partner is out doing things with their friends, just remind yourself that you have friends too and you like to go out with them, so it isn't really fair of you to dictate whether or not your partner can go out with their friends. And remember that it's normal to have other interests and other friends and other things to do outside of the relationship, and that's necessary in order to have a healthy relationship. Another thing that you can do when you're in the situation in which your partner is out and you're at home and you're feeling insecure and worrying about what your partner is doing is to try to distract yourself, because there's no point in sitting there and worrying and feeling like you don't know what your partner's up to and just constantly obsessing over those thoughts. Just try to distract yourself and do something to take your mind off of that. And then once your partner's home, you can have a conversation about why you were feeling insecure and hopefully work through that to sort of build that trust up. But in the moment, there's no point in worrying and constantly obsessing over it because there's nothing you can do about it. You can't talk to your partner at that very moment. So the best thing that you can do is distract yourself and do something to take your mind off of it. Another thing that can be helpful is getting another person's point of view. And this can be sort of a murky situation because you obviously don't want to lay all of your relationship out for somebody else because it is between you and your partner. However, it can be helpful to get another person's point of view and sort of explain what's making you feel insecure when your partner's doing something that's making you not trust them or whatever it may be, and see what this other person would have to say about it. This could be a close friend or a parent or a sibling or whoever, and I feel like this can just sort of help rationalize things, and I feel like it's good to get someone who is not in the relationship's opinion, and they'll sort of help you to get a more level-headed point of view about things and figure out where you might be going overboard with this, or where your partner may be doing something wrong when you're not seeing it. So I feel like that can be really helpful to just sort of get a outsider's point of view and get someone's point of view who can help you get a more rationalized idea about things. And I feel like a helpful practice that you and your partner can do together is giving each other an hour or two of alone time every day when you're both just at home, where you can do your own thing and have that time apart from each other, because I feel like this can be a really helpful first step to building up that trust. And you don't have to do anything crazy. You don't have to both go out and do something and be apart from each other in that way, but just when you're both having a down day and you're both at home, not really doing much, just having that time away from each other to sort of feel what it would be like to be apart from each other, and I feel like that can sort of help build that trust up and, yes, be a good first step, like I said before. Another thing that is important is to realize that it's okay to ask for reassurance from your partner. It is okay to be feeling these feelings. It is a really hard thing to be so far away from your partner, and that makes it a really difficult kind of relationship to build trust in, because you're so far away and you're so sort of disconnected physically from that person. So it is very difficult to feel trust in this type of relationship. So that being said, asking for reassurance is a totally normal thing, and feeling these feelings of sort of distrust at the beginning is very normal, and that is totally okay. But at the same time, you don't want to go super overboard and feel like you need this reassurance 24/7. You should be able to use these techniques to calm yourself down before having to go to your partner. But if you need to once in a while get that reassurance from them, that's okay. That is what they're there for, and you should be able to have, like I said, that open dialogue with them and be able to talk to them about things that are making you feel insecure. And my final piece of advice for building trust in a long-distance relationship is to really remember who your partner is, and remember that they chose you, and listen to them when they tell you that. Listen to them when they tell you that you're all that they want, because they're telling the truth. And I feel like if you can keep reminding yourself of that, that's what's really going to keep that trust in the relationship, because your partner can reassure you all that they want, but until you truly believe that yourself, and you truly believe that your partner chose you for who you are and they want you and only you, wow, I said you a lot of times, until you can believe that, then nothing is really going to work. You need to have that internal security within yourself and that trust within yourself before anything is going to work. You need to sort of be able to let your partner go and be themselves and go out and do things without you. And that's what's really going to help that trust. All right, so that is pretty much it for this week's video. My blood sugar is going low. I really need to get a snack or something to eat, so I'm gonna end it here. Hopefully this could be helpful for you out there watching in long distance relationships. I know that it can be really difficult to build trust, but hopefully these little tips will be of some substance to you. If you out there are in a long distance relationship and you can offer any advice, definitely leave that down below, because it will be helpful to me and it will be helpful to those watching who are also in long distance relationships. Also, if you have any other video requests, you can leave those down below, because I like to make videos that you guys want to see. Anyways, I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week for another one. Bye guys.